Welcome back. This is Cult of Elections, and today we're going to be discussing a 2024 election night scenario that has Charlie Baker, governor of Massachusetts, going up against Senator from, Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren. This might be a bit of an interesting one here. Alright, so let me just say this might be the best case scenario for Republicans here. And yeah, let me oddly enough start this map a little bit backwards. Charlie Baker is a New England Republican, meaning he's a lot more liberal than a lot of Republicans. So he is going to win a lot of states that would traditionally be swing because, he's pretty much sort of a left-wing candidate that he'd be gaining a lot of support from the right and even some support from the left. So while I fill out some safe Republican seats, I just need to mention that I think the Libertarian Party would get a lot of votes in this case, and maybe other smaller parties like the Constitution Party, things like that. However, I don't think it'd be enough to overcome these states, and that perhaps Alaska would get a lot of Libertarian support in this case, but I still think it would be safe. West Virginia, Indiana, Missouri, Nebraska at large, first and third. Honestly, yeah, these are like the obvious safe Republican states. Sort of. I mean, sort of obvious, right? I think a couple states would vastly change. Iowa moves into safe. Ohio moves into safe. Texas moves into safe. So it's already some pretty wild map here. But I can move on a little bit. If Republicans continue pushing,
sending a signal to space and back takes a little bit of time, but I'll try and speed up.
oh my god, thanks Google. Did not mean to do that. Okay, if Republicans keep pushing the socialist thing, paints Democrats as socialists, they will win back Cuban American support, and therefore Florida will become a likely state. As well as North Carolina. We can throw Georgia into the mix too. Warren wouldn't exactly appeal to a lot of Georgian voters. We can throw probably Arizona into the mix too. Okay. I pretty much almost have a Republican winning this. So let me go through some state Democrat seats. Obviously, California is not going to go anywhere. New York's probably not going to go anywhere. We can throw Vermont into there. We can throw Washington, D.C. into there. Delaware as well. New Jersey. I'm trying to carefully choose. However, I think a lot of these states, Maryland also has a popular Republican governor there that's, he's a Republican, so they may understand it a lot more, so I put Maryland in the likely column. This map is already so weird. Rhode Island would also go in the likely column. Connecticut goes in the likely column. I think because Elizabeth Warren is from Massachusetts, it would still remain in the Democrat column, but just barely. And if he went up against somebody else, perhaps he can win his home state, but I don't think he would quite make it. However, I think New Hampshire would become lean Republican, as well as, Maine's 2nd district. First district, I'd say, has become likely. And Maine at large, I mean, if they're electing Susan Collins to the Senate, there's really no reason it can't be lean or even likely for Maine. And that already has Republicans at 270. So let me go through a couple more states here. I think Illinois, Oregon, Washington move over to the likely column. Hawaii stays safe. Virginia is a far ways away for Republicans, so I think Virginia, Colorado, New Mexico are in the lean column for Democrats. Nevada, no other way to state it, but at this point it probably becomes lean Republican. Minnesota almost voted for Trump in 2016. The margin got way bigger for Democrats in 2020. However, I think that becomes lean Republican. And I believe that would just leave 3 states in Nebraska's 2nd district. Let me go ahead and categorize that. Nebraska's 2nd district would be likely Republican in this case. And then, yeah, 3 states here. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. We can throw those into the likely column for Republicans. Now, if you're a Republican, this map may look very beautiful. And if you're a Democrat, this map may look very insane, and it may concern you. However, you have to remember that Charlie Baker he's a liberal, pretty much. I mean, he's not as left-wing as, say, Elizabeth Warren is and other things. Other people. Not things, sorry. But this wouldn't exactly be the most ideal for Republican voters in the country. They want someone, who's a lot tougher on a lot of Republican values. So this wouldn't exactly be the worst case scenario for Democrats. And for Republicans, they would at the very least, have a Republican in office. And they wouldn't get a super far left candidate, which is what they don't like. So yeah, what do you think about this map? Be sure to leave a comment down below. Did I get anything off? Massachusetts, that was a really tough one to choose here. I didn't really talk about Warren here, but I'm just trying to broaden the scope a little bit, get different candidates, as little videos on this channel, and maybe delve into more fun possible scenarios. And perhaps this map wouldn't be too much, because would Charlie Baker even last through the primaries if, say, these safe red states I delegated? Does Charlie Baker appeal to these Republicans? And even the likely states, some of them at least. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind in a Republican primary he would win. The Northeast, probably California. But other than that, it might get a little bit sketchy. So, getting Charlie Baker to this point would be a very difficult thing to do. However, I don't think it would be a bad thing for him to run for Republicans in 2024. Anyways, that's all I have. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for more daily content. Peace.